Good morning, folks. Thanks for joining our Zoom with Drew Allar today. As always, if you guys would use the raise hand function on Zoom, and we will get to questions for Drew. Go ahead, Joe Smeltzer, start us off.
Hey Drew, thanks for the time today.
Yep.
Just with these past few days in the aftermath of Ohio State, how would you say that the mood around the team is right now? And for yourself personally, how is this different than the way the past few days after the losses last season were, with this being your second year as a starting quarterback and you now being a team captain?
Yeah, I mean, I think nobody wants to lose. We don't put in the amount of time that we put in to lose. So, obviously it's super frustrating for us. Yeah, I mean, I think we had a really good practice yesterday though. I thought, Sunday we came in and had a really good Sunday practice, and flushed it, and then we moved on to, Washington because we got a really good team coming into town this weekend. Very talented on both sides of the ball, and a really good coaching staff as well. So it's going to be a challenge this week.
Tyler Donahue.
Thank you. Thank you for this time this morning, Drew. We appreciate it. Wanted to ask about your receiver group that you've been working with. The primary guys, they've had some strong moments, but a lot of those came earlier in the season. James Franklin said on Monday he wants that position to threaten opposing teams a bit more. How do you feel like you can grow with this receiver group in the passing game moving ahead? And what's your confidence level in that room right now?
Oh, I mean, I have a ton of confidence in that room, with the coaching staff in that room and the players in that room. Like, we don't have a shortage of talent in that room for sure. And I think, philosophically as an offense, I think one way to get everybody in rhythm and get everybody involved in the game is staying out of third and long, and continuing to stay ahead of the sticks. And then that allows us to, get in a rhythm, get our players the ball, and then we'll be able to distribute the ball as well too. So I think, as an offense, we just need to execute better with the play calls that are being called, and stay out of predictable pass situations because it's always going to be tough, to consistently win in those things, when you have different stunts up front, that are challenging for the O line to pick up, but they've been doing a really good job. And then obviously you get a lot more mix of coverages on the back end. So, it's challenging when you're in third and extra long and third and long, throughout the game. So we just have to do a better job of getting ahead of the sticks, and just doing what we've been doing it earlier in the year. And I think all the receivers have made a ton of plays this year, and then they're going to continue to keep making a ton of plays throughout the rest of the season.
Rich Carcella.
Good morning, Drew. Thanks for doing this. Um, with the first college football playoff rankings coming out last night, does the fact that there are 12 teams, or how does the fact that there are 12 teams in the playoffs, compared to four, how does that help you move forward after last week with the 4 games left on your schedule? And also, do you have any thoughts on being ranked sixth in that first poll?
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, the rankings don't matter until after the regular season. So, I mean, I could care less what, we're ranked right now because a lot can change between now and the end of the season. And, for us, we control our own destiny. So all that matters is, being 1-0 this week. Again, we have a really good team coming into town that's playing a lot of good ball right now. So it's going to be a challenge this week for us, offensively, and we got to step up to the challenge. They're going to mix a lot of different looks in, and they got a lot of talent on the front seven and on the back end as well. So it doesn't matter until, we play all 12 regular season games.
Daniel Gallen.
I appreciate your time this morning, Drew. You mentioned staying ahead of the sticks, in your answer to Tyler's question. What's the key to that right now? What is preventing you guys from being able to do that?
I mean, I think it just comes down to execution in general, in both the run and pass game. I mean, it's just little things that we got to clean up, because we've shown we have the capability to do it throughout this year so far. We just have to, do it on a consistent basis, for the rest of the season.
Frank Bodani.
Hi, Drew. I wondered if you had any thoughts on how maybe the experience at Ohio State and everything that it had, how you can become a better quarterback from that. Is there anything you can take from going through that can make you a better quarterback going forward and a better leader, maybe even?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's every game. There's things that I take from the game that I can improve on and do better. And it's just the same thing this week. And there's always opportunities to become a better leader, no matter the outcome of the game. Obviously, it's a little bit different this week, but I think we had a really good practice yesterday. We've had a really good mindset throughout the start of the week so far. It's going to be critical that we have a really good practice today with third down and red zone being our main point of focus and emphasis. So we're gonna have to do a really good job today, come out energized and, just come ready to play and execute the game plan that the coaches have for us. But I mean, in general, there's things from every game, no matter how good I play, no matter how bad I play, that I take from it to, become a better leader and a better player in general.
Neil Rudell.
Hey Drew, the sequence the other day, can you walk us through what you look for and what you're allowed to do? Are you looking for a specific thing? Can you check out of a play? And I'm not suggesting that you should have or anything in that situation or even timeouts. I'm just kind of curious if there have been instances this year where you've gone up and maybe saw something and checked out of a situation.
Yeah, I mean, in general, this year I've had the ability to do it, and honestly, like with the headsets, like me and Coach K are always on the same page. Usually, when I'm walking up to the line, he's saying something in my ear, or I'm looking back to the sideline and I'm getting the signal right away. So, usually when we do check plays, like we're checking like we're both expecting the check or the kill, whatever the case may be. So we're always on the same wavelength in terms of that. And there's always been really good communication throughout the week, leading up to those play calls and those moments. And if we get certain looks, why we're killing it or why we're checking it. So I think we have a lot of freedom to do that throughout the offense. And in terms of the sequence, like I mean, if we convert, nobody's talking about it. So we just have to execute the play calls that are called.
Seth Angle.
Hey, Drew, just to follow up on Coach K there, what was his message to you, the rest of the quarterbacks, and also the total offense after that game on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean that he'll be better for us and we'll be better for him. Like, I mean, it's group accountability at the end of the day. And that comes from both sides. It comes from the players being accountable for, our play on the field and, coaches in general. So I think, it was a good message for us. And, I have full faith in Coach K. I love being a part of the offense that Coach K calls and really a part of the whole offensive staff. So, I'm really excited for the opportunity that we have ahead of us this weekend, just because it's a really good defense. And schematically, they're really, really sound and really challenging in what they do. So, I'm just looking forward to, just playing football.
Tyler Donahue.
Drew, in these next four games and what you want to accomplish in December and beyond, how important is that vertical element of this passing attack for you guys to be, trying that consistently and also hitting on it? It seemed to be something that was really clicking for you earlier this year, maybe not as frequent of late.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely what we want to be a part of as an offense. We want to be explosive, and obviously, a way to be explosive is throwing the ball down the field. But again, like we won't have those opportunities to throw the ball down the field if we're not staying ahead of the sticks and we're not in rhythm. Like it doesn't make sense just to call shots on 1st and 10 on the first play of the drive. Like we have to get in some sort of rhythm and moving the ball and getting first downs to have those play calls called. And again, like getting first downs is going to lead to more play calls in general and more total plays as an offense, and we'll get more of our shots that we have in our game plan because we have a ton of shots like in our game plan. Like I don't know how many we have each week, but it's more than probably 5 each week. But we just need to, get ourselves in those situations to be able to call those plays, and that comes down to us as players executing it and getting first downs when we have to. And then when the shots aren't there, checking it down. There's a couple on the first drive last week, like hit Nick on the sideline, turns into an explosive pass, even though it was a shot downfield. I threw it down to the Nick because they did a good job of sinking off, and Nick turned it into explosive. So we have a lot of shots. Like we're not gonna not throw the ball deep or not try to not throw the ball deep. Like we just have to get in the rhythm. And that comes down to us as players. Me giving Trey a better ball on the dig route that was overturned. If I give him a better ball, we're not in 3rd and 10 and we're not going 3 and out. He's catching the ball in stride and running and maybe taking it to the house. Like you don't know what happens. I just have like it comes down to one moment calls, and we just have to be better in executing in those situations.
There are three more questions for Drew. Joe Smeltzer, Rich Garcell, then Frank Bodani. Go ahead, Joe.
Thanks again for the time, Drew. You touched on Washington's defense earlier. Secondary wise, they're second in the nation in passing yards allowed. What have you seen from that secondary specifically that sticks out to you? And what do you say that this is the best group that you've gone against so far this year?
Yeah, I mean they're definitely up there for sure. Like we've seen a lot of talented DBs, DB rooms in general, and they're definitely up there. If not the best, they're one of the best. And the thing that sticks out there to me is they're always contesting the catch. No matter if it's zone coverage, man coverage, they're always around the ball, trying to make plays in the ball. And their linebackers do a good job of that as well. Dropping underneath coverage and making the windows tighter. So we're gonna have to be on our P's and Q's this week when it comes to a pass game on, ball location, route depth and timing and those things. And the other thing that probably helps them is their D line. Like they I don't know how many batted passes they have this year, but they have a lot of batted passes. Like if they know they're not getting a great rush on a play, they're gonna try to bat the ball down. So that's something we're gonna have to be aware of this week. But yeah, like I mean, they just stick to guys in coverage. So we're gonna have to make contested catches throughout the whole 4 quarters this weekend.
Rich Garcella.
Drew, you guys, you've been through them before, and you've kind of been through similar games this season before. But this is the whiteout, and hardly anybody has been talking about it. And I was just wondering, what does playing in the whiteout mean to you? And secondly, having the whiteout this particular week, coming off a loss, how important is that?
Yeah, I mean the whiteout is. I mean I don't even know how to describe it really. Like it's insane. Like I'm honored to be a part of a team that gets to play in an environment like that, or like we're gonna have this weekend. Like the energy that the crowd and fans bring to this game and really all games in general is unmatched across the country in my opinion. And it's super special to be a part of it. And as players, like we don't take that for granted. We soak in these moments because you only have one a year and so many in your career to play in these types of environments. So we're gonna take it all in pre-game and then go out and play ball and then enjoy it after the game. Just reflecting on the crowd and their energy that they bring. So they bring a lot of positive energy to us as a team, and it's going to be fun to just be in that type of atmosphere again this weekend.
Frank Bodani, last question.
Hey, Drew, can the connection with you and the wideouts, getting them more involved in the offense, can you explain maybe how close you think you guys are to doing that, to showing that to fans? Can you
Yeah, I
explain?
mean, I think we've shown it throughout the year. Like we've had Liam, Trey, Amari, all with over 100-yard games, and like we've shown we've had the capability to do it. Again, it comes down to the amount of plays that we have in a game. Like we have to stay ahead of the sticks because if we only have 40 plays, like not many guys are going to be able to touch the ball because there's just not many plays going around. So we have to do a good job of staying ahead of the sticks. And we're very intentional about trying to distribute the ball because we do have so many playmakers in space on the perimeter. And I mean, I don't think our receivers get a lot of harsh criticism about their performance, but I don't really find it necessary at all. Like they've had a great year this year, and they're going to continue to build on it. Like we have a lot of talent in that room, a lot of leadership in that room, and they do a lot of great things that even if they don't show up in the passing column and with catches and yards, like they're doing a lot in our run game, like crack blocks, like that's. You don't see many receiver rooms across the country like doing that and straining to block and finish on the perimeter. So they're doing a great job, even though they do get a lot of criticism athleticism. Like, I mean, I'll defend them till the day I die. Like, I love being around those guys. They're really fun to be around, and they don't get enough credit for how many plays they do make on a weekly basis. So, I'm excited to hopefully get the opportunity to prove that to the world this week and just give them a shot to come down with the ball.
Thanks, Drew. Thanks, folks.